By the end of the lesson, I will be able to find the factors of any given number. Vocabulary. Factors are the numbers you multiply to get another number. For example, 3 and 4 are factors of 12 because 3 times 4 equals 12. All the factors of 12 are 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, and 4. However, when you write or list the factors of a number, you need to write them in numerical order. So when you list factors, you list them in numerical order. What are the factors of these numbers? So for 2, when I list factors, I list them using the rainbow method, or I think what numbers multiply together to get that. So I'm going to start with 1. I always start with 1. What times 1 will give me 2, and 2 times 1 will give me 2. So my factors of 2, those are the only 2, the factors are 1 and 2. So the factors of 3, there's only 2 of those as well, and I start with 1. So the factors of 3 are 1 and 3. When I try to figure out the next one, I'm thinking about 2 numbers that multiply to get 5, and there are only 2. So again, 5 only has 2 factors, 1 and 5. Same thing with 7. 7 only has 2 factors, 1 and 7. Those are the only 2 numbers that I can multiply together to get 5 and to get 7. So prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7 are prime, and they have exactly 2 factors, 1 and itself. When we have composite numbers have more than 2 factors. So they have 1 in itself and then at least 1 other pair. So when we look at 4, I'm going to start listing, and I start at 1, right? Then I give myself some space on my paper, and I list what multiplies by 1 to get 4. So 1 times 4. Then I go back to 1, and next to 1, I write 2. What times 2 gets me to 4? And it's 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I only need to write 2 one time. So my list of factors in numerical order for 4 are 1, 2, and 4. The next one I do the same thing. So I start with 1, give myself some space, and I have 6. Try number 2. So 1 and 6, and then I have 2 times 3 gives me 6. Right? And when I get to 2 and I get to 3, right, there is no gap between 2 and 3, so I know that I am done. 8. I have 1 times 8. I also have 2 times 4, and 3 cannot go into 8 evenly. So then I see that I'm at 4, and I've already used 4, so I know that I'm done trying to list my factors for 8. Number 9, I'm going to start at 1. 1 times 9. 2 cannot go into 9 evenly. 3 times 3 can go in. Can 4? No. Can 5? No. Can 6? No. Can 7? No. Can 8? No. So I know that my list of factors for 9 are 1, 3, and 9. So how many factors does 1 have? 1 only has 1 factor. So knowing that 1 only has 1 factor, because 1 times 1 is 1, 1 is neither prime nor composite because it doesn't have 1 in itself. There are no 2 numbers next to this 1 right here. Even though 1 times 1 is 1, we only list the factor of 1 one time. So it's neither prime or composite. Go ahead and draw these two circles, prime and composite. When you have that, then press play. We're going to categorize the numbers on the outside and put them where they're supposed to be. So 2 only has a factor, or two factors, 1 and 2, so I know that it is prime. 3 has factors of 1 and 3, so I know that it is prime. 4 has factors of 1 and 4, and also 2 times 2 will get me to 4, so I know that this number is composite. 5, the only two numbers that I can multiply together to get 5 are 1 and 5, so it is prime. 7 is the same. 1 times 7 are the only two numbers that I can multiply to get 7. 6, I have 1 times 6, and I also have 2 times 3. So I have more than just one set of numbers that multiply to get 6. 1 times 8 and also 4 times 8, well, 4 times 2, will get me to 8. How about 31? I have 31 and 1, and nothing else can divide 31. 15, I have 1 times 15. I also can multiply 3 times 5, so this is a composite number. 100, I have 1 times 100, and I also have 10 times 10. I can list more than those factors. However, all I need are 2 pairs, 2 sets of numbers to multiply together, or one more other than 1 and itself. So if I know that there is one other pair of numbers or a set of factors, then I know that the number is composite. So I have 17 is prime because I can only divide it by 17 or by 1, or multiply 1 times 17 to get 17. And 42, I can multiply 1 times 42, and I can also multiply 6 times 7 to get 42. So I know that that is composite. 42, I could also divide that by 2 and multiply 2 times 21 to get 42. So how do you know if a number is prime or composite? So if a number has a factor other than 1 or itself, and this should say and itself, it's composite. If a number has only a factor of itself and 1, it's prime. Use your divisibility tests from our first chapter. You can know if 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 is a divisor because of our divisibility tests or our divisibility rules.